Hare Krishna. Okay, so today, Hare Krishna, Kalyani Mataji, Shri Guru Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
So let me share my screen. So today we have two verses, chapter 5, verse number 19 and 20. So anybody would like to go ahead, please? We'll take both the verses together and then we'll try to discuss. Indira Mataji, can we read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Text 19. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ihaitai sargo yesham samye siddham manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthidaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Those whose minds are established in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the conditions of birth and death. They are flawless like Brahman, and thus they are already situated in Brahman. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Can you finish it off?
Text 20. This na prahushchet priyam prapya no dyujet prapya chapriyam stira buddhira sammudho brahmavid brahmani stitaha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the signs of God is already situated in transcendence. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you very
Krishna.
much.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Okay. So the two verses that we are talking now are the verses which, to understand these verses, we have to be in a very elevated level, because the two verses that Krishna is talking about is completely in a different atmosphere. So if you see chapter 2, chapter 2 is partially divided, 50% divided. One talks about the soul, and from verse number 38 or 40, we start talking about doing karma. So chapter 2 tells us that you have to do karma. Okay, you have to do your activities. Chapter 3 tells it that how you should do karma. That is why it's the name of the chapter 3 is Karma Yoga. The activities that we perform in our daily life, the karma that we are doing from the moment we get up from our bed till the moment we go back to our bed, whatever it is, how we are carrying it out, in which intention we are doing those activities. Even if my wife is ill, even if I am giving her a pill, to cure her disease, with which intention I am doing it, to certain level, to that sort of level, how we are doing our activities, that decides whether our activities are only activities or our karmas are karma yoga. Then comes chapter 5. That's why chapter 5, Srila Prabhupada writes, what is chapter 5? Chapter 5 is karma in Krishna consciousness. So chapter 2 tells that you have to do karma. Chapter 3 tells how you should do karma. And chapter 5 tells for whom you should do your activities. So that's why, as Srila Prabhupada writes, karma in Krishna consciousness. So if you see these two verses, these are very, highly elevated verse. And if we get the essence of these two verses, I think almost 90% of your Bhagavad Gita is done. But not from the perspective of information. Information everyone knows that I am a soul. This is information. Everyone knows. In ISKCON, I think 100% population knows that I am a soul. But from the perspective of information, not from the perspective of knowledge. And we have to know this, that I am a soul, from the perspective of knowledge. That's the only difference. That what we should know, we don't know, and what we should, even if we don't know, we know that, right? So, if you see this, the 19th verse, in that Krishna is telling a person who is situated in sameness and equanimity have already conquered the rotation of birth and death, right? The coming and going of from this material world is, he has already controlled it. Why? Because he sees, as if you see the 18th verse, it's a very famous verse, that some darshina pandita, that a person who is capable enough of seeing Krishna even in a Brahman, in the body of a Brahman, even in the body of a Chandal, even in the body of an elephant, even in the body of a dog. Chandal is like a dog eater. When a person is able to see Krishna in all these different forms, means in all these different yonis, different species of life, different species of body, if you are really able to see Krishna in them, then your half homework is done for going back to Krishna. It's done. But the question is, do we see it? Why we have hatred? That's why you see a person who is situated in such a level, he will not have both of them. See, it's very hard to at times, to digest. He will never be attracted towards anyone, towards anything, towards any situation. He's completely poised. That doesn't mean if someone comes to your door and he knocks to your door and you give him and he asks for a glass of water, you will say, "Oh, no, 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 I am completely Krishna consciousness. Okay, I am completely soul. I don't know you. I don't want to deal. I don't have any relation with you. I am soul." Not like this. Sameness and equanimity means you get your activities done, you get your responsibilities done, and then just leave it aside. That's why we say, do your part, rest Krishna will take care of it. That's why a very beautiful phrase is there. It says, युक्ति पूर्वक करह प्रचार, प्रीति पूर्वक करह व्यवहार. So when you deal with people, how can we situate ourselves in sameness and equanimity? This is a big thing. It cannot happen, in a 15-minute class that, okay, I tell something, you hear something, and done. We are done. We have read Bhagavad Gita. We know everything. No, we cannot. That's why I said in the very beginning, Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Who decides? We are the one who decides in our own life. How we decide is the way you perform your each activity, even when you deal with your wife, even when you deal with your husband, even when you deal with your children, relatives, your society people. How you deal, that matters. When you deal with people, being in knowledge, being situated in knowledge, and what is that knowledge? That I am a soul, and all these people are just have come to my life with a timeline. Once the timeline is over, they will wrap up. So, with this knowledge, when you are situated, and then when you deal with people, you will see everything will be very smooth. But it never happens. The unfortunate situation is it never happens. In fact, we deal the other way. We deal with attraction. We are attracted towards somebody. We have hatredness towards some people. We have a lot of desires in life. We have a lot of lust towards men and women, towards objects as well, that we want this, we want that, a lot of things we have. But the problem is we don't speak up, because if we speak, our market value will go down. What if Mataji will think, what Prabhuji will think? That's why I always say, it cannot be that you can know me or I can know you in just a 15-minute class. This is just a formal session. You don't know me, I don't know you. When you would know me, when you would sit with me, when you would go around with me, when you eat with me, when you dance with me, then you will come to know, oh, na 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 na, baba, kuch samasya hai Prabhu ji ke saath. Then you will get to know. So until and unless we deal with people, being situated in knowledge that all these people are just part and parcel of time, they have come and they will go. I belong to Krishna and he belongs to me. With this knowledge, when you deal with people, and that's why Krishna said, right? When you deal, you have to deal in such a way as Krishna did. See, when Krishna had such a big family, but did he had any sort of for show cause um, uh, uh, detachment from anyone? No, he never showed. When we read Canto 10, he shows the entire society that he lived with his and all the kings, all the queens, with all his family. But when time came to leave, he was the one who just got his entire kingship drowned in water. He was the one. So you should deal with people with love. That's why Prahlad Maharaj gives a beautiful formula in Srimad Bhagavatam. He says, Hari sarveshu bhuteshu bhagavan astahi ishvaraha. Hari sarveshu means everywhere, everything. Bhuteshu, in every living being. Bhagavan astaha ishvaraha. Means Krishna himself resides as Ishvaraha. After that, what we should do then? What we should do? He says, iti bhutani mansa kamaste sadhumanyetaha. So one should understand, one should realize that in every living being, my Krishna resides, and due to which I should respect everyone. And this is a very simple formula, but a very powerful, uh, you know, uh, thing by which we can come out of this, that we are jealous of him, we are attracted towards him, we don't like him, we like her. This all these things which are the dualities of life, we can easily come out if we understand this concept, not by reading, by understanding that whoever is present in whichever state, that person has earned that part. We have to understand that in every person, Krishna resides. I'll give you a very beautiful example, a very practical example. And you also would have might seen, I don't know, you might have seen, because you have every year you witness this activity. So the example is, it's not an example, it's a fact. One, I think this year, last year, when we were having Jagannath Rath Yatra in Mathura, so when there's a society from where it starts, so as soon as Jagannath ji started coming out on the chariot on the road, means the Prabhujis were standing in with one side catching the ropes, and Matajis were standing with one rope, one side catching the rope. So as soon as he was about to come on the main road, Means he was almost on the main road, almost on the main road. So all devotees are also on the main road. So on the very spot, a drunkard was shouting, howling, and dancing like anything because Kirtan was also going on. He was telling Radhe, 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 means completely drunk. So suddenly one Prabhuji and his, I think, Dhyan woke up, the transcendental knowledge came up. He just came and just pushed him like anything. And obviously, if he is a drunkard, he fell. Drunkards don't have control over the body. He just fell because, and I was just standing beside him, and he did not do anything. But Prabhuji sometimes become too much attraction, too much affectionate towards Mataji. So he thought that as he is a drunkard, he might tell some Mataji something, some vernacular, vulgar word or something he will do. He will do, but he didn't do it. He was enjoying his drink. He just came and pushed him like that. And obviously, as he's drunk, he fell and it's pitch road. So obviously, he will get hurt. So as soon as he fell, he started beautiful words after that. So somehow one known Prabhuji was there. He was carrying a bottle of water. I just snatched that bottle of water and I took and I gave him to him. Oh, okay, bye, go, no, Radhe, 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 go, go, go. See, this is where we fail in our life. We should understand that Jagannath ji has not come for us on the roads. He has come for the unfortunate people who cannot go to temple, who are not eligible to go to temple, who are so unfortunate in their life that they don't know where to go to see where to go to see Jagannath. For them, Jagannath has come on the roads. If that person has done something, that's a different thing. But he is enjoying his drink. He is enjoying the vision with Lord Jagannath. And you should know that you are residing in Braj. He was a drunkard, not you. But why we fail? Because we think Bhagavad Gita is for the world, not for me, because I am completely transcendental. I am completely ecstatic. Right? So this misbelief misleads us to somewhere else, thinking that I am wearing dhoti kurta, so I know everything. Nothing else is required. That's why in 20th verse, Krishna gives the symptoms of a person who is really poised, who is really poised in this knowledge. And he says a person who is, what are the symptoms? A person who neither becomes happy nor laments. Anyone comes to you, okay, Prabhuji, I need a glass of water. Okay, sure, Prabhuji. Whatever the best you have, just serve and get out from that situation. That's why I always tell when you go to temple, don't serve temple just to impress the president, impress the prime minister, impress the director, impress the producer, impress the choreographer. No one will be there. As I said, everyone has come with a timeline and everyone will depart. Simple. And this is very hard and very not attractive statement towards when people love management, okay, because we do Prabhuji will see and this that all those things. When you serve with love, that if I'm cutting this vegetable, if I'm cutting this carrot, this piece of carrot will go to Jagannath and he will accept it. With this love, when we anything you do, whatever it is, even when Mataji's create that garland of dry fruits on special occasions, like in Janmashtami is coming, many Matajis would be creating those garlands. When you create that garland, when you think that this kismis that I'm piercing through needle, this kismis will go on the body of Lord Jagannath, with this belief, with this love, with this attachment towards Jagannath, only towards Jagannath. When you do that service, then that service is actually a service. Then there is no attachment, no detachment from the temple premises, this, that, Prabhuji, Mataji, Parleji, 4G, 5G, nothing. You are completely poised. That is what Krishna is telling, giving the symptoms. A person who neither who rejoices nor laments is sthir buddhi, who never gets who is unbewildered, who never gets bewildered with different situations when they come in your life. Suppose you are doing some other seva and something is going on in the kitchen, and it is said that you are not, no one is allowed except 5, 6 devotees in the kitchen at that particular point of time, and suddenly due to some requirement, your requirement is also genuine. Let's assume your requirement is genuine. You enter, you try to enter the kitchen, but then and there, the head of the kitchen says, Prabhuji, don't come inside. Don't stay outside. So stay outside. Mataji, stay outside. Don't come in the kitchen. Just imagine the condition. You start grudging, you start having grudges against that person, that devotee. So when we won't have that sort of grudges with that devotee, then it will be understood that we have understood Bhagavad Gita. Else no. Go back to chapter 1. Again, chapter 1, chapter verse number 1. So Bhagavad Gita is so practical. And if you really want to understand, if you really want to take up Bhagavad Gita in our life, we have to deal with situations. That's why in chapter 2, verse number 56, it says, Dukheshu vignamana, Sukheshu vigat spriha, with rag bhaya krodha sthit dharmo nirachyate. A person who neither laments nor rejoices, who is completely poised, Dukheshu vignamanas, Sukheshu vigat spriha. Neither he is completely bent down when suffering comes, nor he is completely active when good things come. That sort of person is known to be instir buddhi, who will be unbewildered. That's why our Goswamiji Maharaj gives a very beautiful verse. In Manas he says, धीरज धरमा मित्र अरुणारी आपद काल परखहि चारी. That by saying in class that I'm very patient, Prabhuji, I don't lose my patience. It doesn't work. That's why he says आपद काल परखहि चारी. When that emergency situation will come, when that situation will test you, that how much patience you have, baby, then we will get to know how much really patience we have. That time will tell, not you or I. No one can tell. No one should tell. Let the time decide. And time will decide, and time has decided every now and then. So that's why these verses should not be in our life only for information. Ki, Prabhuji, I know. Every day we have Bhagavad Gita sessions in morning. No, doesn't matter. No, it will not have any influence in our life. No effect. That's why until and unless these symptoms we develop in our life, somebody can develop overnight, somebody can develop over decades. That's the only difference. But everybody can do if we really want to understand and if we really mean what we say, right? We want to go to Krishna, we want to go to Golok Dham, we every now and then tell, as if from Mathura catch Karnataka Express and just drop down to on next to next day, drop down to Majestic, right? It's not so easy. Krishna himself tells, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschiti Siddhi. He himself tells. So, this is a very introspection, self-introspective verse that we should understand, we should introspect oneself that whether I am really attractive. Even when, that's what I'm saying, even when you deal with your family members, deal as if they are a part and parcel of Krishna. Love them, right? First, we should have some compassion in our life. Devotees cannot be without compassion. If we don't have compassion towards people, towards general people, then we are not devotees. We are just the dolls with dhoti kurta, nothing else. That's why deal with love. Believe me, I lived my before getting married and almost half of my corporate life before even coming to Gurgaon and then to Bangalore. I have spent my entire life, almost at 4 or 5 years in bachelor life. I have spent entire my life from college days with the crowd of all nasheris and ganjedis, all drunkards. But I'd never had issues with them. And in fact, they felt shame when they used to come to my room for drinking, because my they were my friends of my roommate, so they used to come. They used to feel shame that how can someone control oneself so much that when you are getting free, right? People sometimes, there are many types of people. So in many types of people, one type of person is a person who doesn't drink with his own money. He drinks when he gets free of cost. So they used to tell, by we have seen so many people, but we have not seen person like you. And I have, it's my open, there's nothing locked or something. You see my Facebook profile, you see n number of posts with, with drunkards, with wine, with bottles and whatnot. In fact, when I was living in Noida, I had a that in the rack there was, it was a rented room, so there was a rack, like we tell it in North India, we tell it as tar rack, in fact, na? In that rack, all the 1 liter bottles I had put it up as a show. So when my mom came, he said, "Hey, this is a useless thing." Arey, mummy, rehne do. It's good, looks good. So people were shocked that how can he do that? So I used to I used to point my finger over, see that side. That's the secret. And they should, I would point towards where I used to keep. There was a small rack, puja rack, where I used to keep my Bhagavad Gita. I said, that's the secret. You drink that, you don't need to drink anything, because that's the essence of everything. You start drinking that, you leave drinking this, because this doesn't have taste. You drink from top and you leave it, you exit it from bottom. But that, once you drink, difficult to drink. But once you drink Bhagavad Gita, there's no exit for Bhagavad Gita. It will stay with you. So that's how the life went up. And once, as I said, the timeline went away. So that company and everything went away. So we don't have to show ourselves that we are ecstatic, we are devotees, this, that. That's why there is so much problems in our life, because it's not that devotees don't have problems. Devotees have problems because they are not practical. They think that, oh, this is Goloka, Vrindavan, this, that, what not. Life doesn't walk like that. Life walks in its own way. You have to patch up. That's why when there's a very beautiful series of lecture videos of Radhesham Prabhuji, he says, he tells, we should know how to deal with general people. Then only people will be attracted towards you. Otherwise, no. When you wearing dhoti kurta, you put up such statements, you put up such words in the public which are really not good, which doesn't really look like a devotee talking or devotee behaving, then what example you are setting? And it's, alas, it's very sad nowadays, the things that I hear here and there. It's so pathetic that what are we doing being devotees? Only for name and sake, only on the documentation, only on pen and paper we are devotees. Only by picture, safed dhoti kurta, ha. For that we are, not after that. So these verses are for examining oneself. It is for me, not for the whole world. Doesn't matter who hears, who thinks, who reads, doesn't matter. I should do it. Let not people do. I don't care. If anyone wants to come with me, yeah, always welcome. But I don't care, because these are for me. I have to go to Krishna. Why should I bother about the whole world? I can try. Yes, that's what Srila Prabhupada taught us, that preaching is the essence. Yes, we will do, but without being attracted, without being attached. That's the essence of whole life, this entire life. Because the brutal truth is always brutal. So the brutal truth is, you came alone and we depart alone. This is a brutal truth. Only in the middle we just jungle up like anything. So this we have to understand. And until and unless we understand this philosophy, believe me, just reading Bhagavad Gita, just because we know English, we know Hindi, we know Kannada, we know Telugu, just for reading, doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. You will get some Sukriti, okay, no issues. Again, take a birth and again next life and continue. DDOD, birth, death, old disease, everything will continue. So that's why Krishna is saying here that you have to be sthir buddhi. You have to be unbewildered in your life, and your aim should be Krishna. That's why karma, whatever activities we are performing, it should be in Krishna consciousness. Whether you go to your office also, please go. Please earn money. But why? Because I want to feed my children. I want to feed my wife because they are devotees. They are serving Krishna. They are preaching for them. Think your wife, your husband, your children as a part and parcel of Krishna because they are dedicating their time towards Krishna. So I want to feed them, I want to serve them. They are Vaishnavas for me in my life. That's why I go to office. That's why I earn money. There's no harm in earning money. But how we are earning money? But don't become blind in earning money because just we have to earn money because there is no end to luxury, there is no end to comfort, there is no end. No bank manager will come and tell, oh no, Prabhuji, please don't deposit any more money in your account, it's getting over flooded. No manager will come. You can do what amount of money you want to deposit, right? So we have to know our conditions, we have to know how to control our oneself, and we have to know who we are and what this world is all about, and who are my relatives, who are my kinship, who are the people around me, and how should I deal with them. So all these things are being taught with Bhagavad Gita, via Bhagavad Gita. Just the only thing is we have to understand, we have to give time. Everything needs time. For everything you need to give time. So when you give time, ultimately, automatically everything gets revealed in our life. So the point is how much we dedicate ourselves towards Krishna. If we really love Krishna, then we have to be Krishna consciousness 100%, no discount, no reasons whatsoever. Just like if I love someone, if I have a girlfriend, whatsoever, even if I am in a washroom, sitting on the commode, I will be thinking about her. When she will come, 9:30, right? She comes by 9:25. If I come by 9:24, then I will be there before her. I can see her on the spot. Even sitting in the washroom, I can think about her. Just like this, we have to be completely engrossed with Krishna consciousness. Then that love, that Madanakya bhav, that they'll leave those things, those are very big things. We are not eligible enough to, think and hear all those things. So that sort of bhav will come when we can really love Krishna. Otherwise, everything is pen and paper, everything is on the platform of information, everything is available, internet is there, books are available every now and then easily, thanks to Srila Prabhupada. But as Gaurang Prabhu very beautifully says, that bhakti was really difficult. But he says admission in bhakti, because earlier when ISKCON was not there, if you see, when Gaudiya Math was not there, earlier days, Prabhuji's Matajis who are over 50, 60, you could see your childhood days. Did you ever hear anything like bhakti? Okay, we have to chant, we have to do this, we have to read Bhagavad Gita. Nothing. Because there was no internet, there was no people. It was very rare that any Vaishnava would come to our house, preach something. It was very rare. So he says now admission in bhakti is very easily with the causeless mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Admission in bhakti is very easy. It is very easy, but the examination is still tough. Examination standards remain unadulterated. You took admission via ISKCON, that is fine. In every nook and corner of the world nowadays, ISKCON is there. You are getting admission, that's fine. But exam still remains very, very, very tough. So you have to prepare yourself for that exam. As our His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj beautifully said in his last time, and in fact, this was the last statement that he uttered from his mouth before he left his body. That I don't know whether you are aware or not. He left his body in the time of that corona affecting coronavirus. He said, oneself should make himself ready for this situation. For which situation? The situation when no one would be around you. No Vaishnav, no Kirtan, no Naam, this, that, all gone. Nothing would be there. It would be, you will be in an isolated room, pin drop silence. No bhajan, no kirtan, no that, no this. Your body itself will not have so much strength to utter Krishna's name. At that point of time, if you can really think about Krishna with your heart, in your heart, then your life is done. That's why Ante Narayan Smriti, if at the end of your life, at the end fraction of second, if you can think about Krishna, your whole life is done. And if you forget your Krishna, at that Ante Narayan Smriti doesn't happen, whatever you did, Shram eva hi kevalam. So that's why we have to read these verses, we have to understand these verses, and we have to cultivate these qualities in oneself. Then only we will be eligible to attain that ultimate goal, which is Krishna himself. Okay, so with this, I conclude. If any Mataji or Prabhuji have any question or Shri Prabhu wants to add anything, please go ahead, Prabhuji. Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Mataji, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanwad Pranam. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Dandavat Pranam.
Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam
Hare
pavanebhyo
Krishna,
Vaishnavabhyo.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I like the point. See, the point is like
Shri Prabhu, would you like to tell anything, bro? Okay, I think Prabhuji left. Okay, okay.
hear me?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna,
Hare
bro.
Krishna, yes.
Prabhuji, your voice is very
I
less,
was
Prabhu.
trying to say something that
Prabhuji, your voice is very less. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So, Hare Krishna. I
Yes,
said,
yes,
I was, Prabhu, I was saying, as devotees, we have to set exemplary action, and like you said, in our regular day-to-day activities, we should act in a good manner, befitting devotees. That's an important point.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And by regularly, my realization is the ideals are definitely very, very high. Standards are too high for any normal person. These are very high. But I think by chanting and by reading a lot and by practicing Krishna consciousness, we will be able to improve ourselves. This is what I think. Okay? Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
yes, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Prabhu. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, thank you, devotees. Let's
Yeah,
thank you for
as
giving
I
the time.
can add one more thing. I mean,
Yes,
as
Janardhan,
Prabhu
Prabhu.
says,
Please go ahead,
correct,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Please.
Patience and practice, Prabhu. This is two important things. Patience and practice.
In practice. Yes.
Yeah, this is the only thing we have to, because we can't think of the end result and not practice or have patience, isn't it? I think Sri Hari Prabhu has said the right thing.
Yes, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanwad Pranam to all.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for adding. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, and Prabhuji,
Yes, Kalyani Mataji.
Sadhu Sangha is very, very important, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Very,
Definitely,
Yes.
very
Mataji.
most important, Prabhuji.
Very correct.
For the
Prabhu.
yes,
Mataji,
for a daily reminders, we really need it.
yes.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Okay,
Prabhuji.
thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Yeah,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.